into the shaitanic trap of being surface level, which is materialism. You're just falling into the material aspect of it, not realizing that when you wear white, you're representing the light and where we come from, the true light, and how it's being sucked into the black holes. Now, the black holes aren't a bad thing, they're portals, but you have to learn this and you have to realize that if you're a woke human being, if you're a spiritual human being, and you're aware of all this knowledge, right, you will know that you're light being, you are a light being. I'm not talking about this new age shit. I'm talking about a light being, that our light, our consciousness, because that's all we are, is light. Experiencing, I've talked about the nerves and what they are and stuff in the human body. We have millions of connections in the brain. The only thing experiencing those connections is your light. So if you want to touch something, your essence is touching something. When you touch something and your nerves feel that, that's you, right? So when I talk about light, that's what I mean, light. That light that's in you, that connection between, because you move at the speed of light, right? That connection between you and that touch, and when you touch something, you feel it like as if it's right away, right? You don't actually feel it right away. There's a time in between you experiencing this. That's why time is an illusion also, because it has to go through this body, this material vessel. That's why in Jannah or in heaven they say you can have something instantly because you're made of light. You can move at certain speeds, right? But anyway, that's the light that I'm talking about, right? So if you know this knowledge, right, your light is being pulled through a black hole to come into this manifest. And there's different types of black holes that lead you to different realms. It's not just the earth that you come to. Other black holes lead to other realms and universes and dimensions and stuff. But if you don't know this, if you don't know the star, that's why there's so many stars in the sky. Those are opposites of black holes, which is ultimately we're looking at in this, and this is how God, this is how Allah is so beautiful, right? And because He's not a person, He's not a being in which we can visualize Him. Our minds cannot perceive it, even though we're made of light. Our minds cannot perceive it. But the only way in which we can perceive Allah, which is what? The reverse concept. If you look at your eyes, they're black holes, and the only way in which you can perceive light, right, is through these eyes. But the one deceiving you is Lucifer, the light bringer, right? So he's the one in this realm, which is the demiurge, right? Study the demiurge and what he is. The demiurge, he's giving all this creation in a material way. He's the one sucking. He's not the black hole, but he's on the other end. He's shrouded, right, by the blackness. And he's like, it's like he's the curtain and all this, he's the black curtain on the other side of the black hole that's allowing all the light to spew through as a material thing. Because he's responsible for the physical makeup of the world, of the universe, the physical creation of the universe, the demiurge, which is really just Shaitan, Satan. And now the light that's coming through is the only thing he can't touch. That's why when we look at the light and God tells us these are the signs that you should be looking at. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the stars, right, what you're seeing is the light coming down and your black holes in your eye. This is how it's reversed, right? So God is the blackness, right? Because God, the original man is Adam, which means black or dark, which is like me or any other black or melanated person on the planet, right? So we're the original humans. Then you have stars. The stars are the opposites of the black holes, right? But in this realm, everything is flipped on its head, right? So everything is the opposite. And that's because we live in the opposite. We live in, or like in Stranger Things, they had the upside down. That's because here is the upside down of what people would call heaven, or the realms. In different cultures, different religions, different tribes, and different civilizations called it different things, but it's all the same thing, just a different perspective of looking at it, right? This is why when we look down here, we have the opposite. You have the sun, which is our light, really. That's you. You came from the sun. That's why in astrology, your sun sign is what you are, right? That's why astrology is very important to study zodiacs, not horoscopes and all that dumb shit. Zodiacs. Because the zodiacs are really the 12, there's 13 really. It's the Jesus concept, and Jesus is really Jesus is the guy who went to hell. You got to realize that Jesus went to hell, guys, right? For 3 days, and then he rose on the third day. And that's the same thing on the chakra spectrum. On the third chakra is the solar, the sun, solar plexus. Hey, it's all there. Anyway, so yeah, our light is the opposite. You feel me? The light is the opposite. And that's why we are such a beautiful creation, because You look at the human being, the melanated human being at the most, the one who's awake and can understand these things, who can interpret and get those light codes, because there are light codes coming through the sun, because they're aspects of us. Because light is a material thing. Photons are material, but they're the highest level of the material, right? Now, there's something beyond that. The black hole. It's not the black hole itself, it's the force that drives the black hole, right? That's why a lot of people think that they think this concept of the black woman is God, because the woman represents the universe, God represents the seed going through because the male, right? The male, the seed, the woman, the womb. The womb is the universe. The seed is the light traveling through the universe. What can't escape a black hole? Nothing. Even light. So there has to be something beyond light, which is the force that drives the black hole. Not the black hole itself, not magnetism in itself, because gravity is just another form of magnetism, not the other way around. Because gravity would not be able to exist in space, because space is a so-called vacuum, right? So it have to be a form of magnetism. Magnetism, gravity, all that is a variant of itself. Dielectricity, all that shit, all that stuff. You gotta look at this stuff and just study it real quick. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, that's where we're from, right? And that's why the elements down here that we can visualize, even fire, which fire is just another form of light. That's why you put your hand through it. You will never be able to touch fire. How crazy is that? But it'll burn the fuck out of you, right? And where does it burn? How deep does it burn? Down to your nerves, right? Right? Fire can burn your skin. Then it burns deeper, and then it burns your nerves, and then after that you have third degree, where you don't feel anything anymore. And the reason for that is your experience, which is light, mixing with light, but the filter in which you experience that light, because you are fire. You are fire. You are Kundalini. But the reason you experience pain is because of this body, because the body is the filter. It's an illusion. The body is the filter in which you feel the pain, where your light connects with light. So really, what the concept of the demiurge in creating this physical world, he created a barrier between you and God. That's the shaitan, the demiurge, which is the body, the material world. So this is the light of the God and heaven and realms and all the consciousness and the cosmos, right? Then you have you, the human being, which is light. He's the one who's created the barrier, the dark barrier, right? Because he's shrouded in the darkness. He doesn't know the realms, the heavens, God. He doesn't know that, the true high, most high. He doesn't know that. The demiurge, the Satan, only knows this, right? And so he creates this, but that light has been refracted into his, that makes sense, into his realm. That's the one thing he can't control is your light. But it gives you illusions, the barrier, the materialistic barrier, like your skin and your hands, your body, right? He puts a barrier between you and God. That barrier is what makes you experience pain. So pain is an illusion also, if you can understand that. So when you get a third degree burn, right, and this is another state of matter, fire, which is a light, which is why fire was such a huge thing, why fire is everything. You look at your phone, it's being powered by fire. Electricity is another form of fire. And that's another state of matter. It's plasma. Electricity is plasma, guys. The highest. That's why your brain has what? Electrical synapses, which your heart is what? Powered by what? Electricity, boy. Hey, it's the chosen one, it's the guided one. It's the guided one, it's the chosen one, man. Yo. Hey, I'm telling you, yo, I should write a book, boy. Hey, I love you. Peace and love to you all. Y'all take care.